Thank you for staying with us. It appears there is no end in sight regarding economic hardship and rising costs of living in Nigeria. The country's inflation rate hit a new 17-year high of 20.77% in September as food supply, foreign exchange crisis, and hike in import costs worsened. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the country's inflation rose to 17-year high from 20.52% in August, which has now been broken by September's figure. Jiri, 20.77% is like, this is difficult to comprehend, and now we know why everything has gone haywire in the markets, the prices of goods and services in the markets and everything. So officially, inflation has hit 20.77%. What is the significance of this?
Yeah, these are early signs of what is to come. I think that it couldn't have been otherwise. 20.77, it could even have been higher, because you and I know what we are going through when we go to the market. You know what we are experiencing. The forex illiquidity is causing so much hardship for manufacturers, and they have no choice to increase the cost of their end product. My concern is what will even happen next year, because this high inflationary rate is driven largely by food inflation, and of course cost of transport, passenger transportation, whether it is air travel or even traveling by road. The cost of transportation has risen very high. Diesel is so expensive at this time, and you and I know there is no subsidy on diesel, so diesel costs are rising.
900.
Yes, it depends on where you are buying it. Even petrol now, in states around Abuja, for example, is extremely expensive because truckers are finding it difficult to move from the Lokoja area to the federal capital because of the flooding of the roads. And we thought that it was receding, but we've also had more rains. So the problem is still there, and as a result of that, it's taking these truckers, in some cases, up to 8 days to move from Lokoja to Abuja. And that is the median of the country, the middle point of our country. Kogi shares borders with no less than 10 states. So you have to pass through Kogi to get to federal capital. Petrol is expensive in the federal capital now. It's scarce because of that difficulty. All of these things are driving up inflation, because if somebody buys fuel at 300 naira per liter, if he's someone who supplies goods and services, of course he's going to remove that cost from the price that's going to sell it to you. Now, why I said I'm even worried for next year, this food inflation will definitely be higher, driven largely by what has happened. This flooding has ruined many farms. People are forced to harvest their crops too early. Some rice farms have been totally washed away. And I'm just hearing that the federal government said they are going to talk to Cameroon. Why should it be now that after so much destruction, somebody spent 25 million on his rice farm, he's lost everything? So, and rice takes on the average between 9 to 10 months from planting to harvesting. So it's not the sort of crop that you can say, oh, once we are done with this flooding, we can quickly produce. That's not going to happen. And you cannot mitigate the effect of shortfall in rice production by resorting to imports. It's not going to work. So Nigerians love to eat rice a lot, but you can see the signs that next year, we won't have enough rice. And because of that, I'm not surprised. We were talking about rice going to 46,000 a bag, local rice in Abuja. It certainly will be worse by next year, because by the time old stocks are exhausted, these people whose rice farms have been washed away, how do we fill that gap? So it's really worrisome. And when the president took over in 2015, it was 9%. 9%. The following year, 2016, it went to 15.68. 2017, it went to 16.52. Then it came down in 2018 to 11.40%. In 2020, it moved to 12.2. It started going up. 2021, it ended, that's the year average, at 16.95. By May this year, it went to 17.7%, 71%. Now, we are in the month of October. The September results is 20.77. So you can see that the year average will be worse than 2021, which ended at 16.95. So it's just all kinds of things.
Well, things are not, it's not peculiar to Nigeria, and things are not looking good at all.
Well, I think Nigeria's situation is peculiar, because if we keep on saying that this is happening worldwide and Nigeria is not a peculiar situation, maybe we'll be deceiving ourselves. Because you need to look at the trend for us as a nation. He has just reeled out some figures. Even as of last year, September, it wasn't as high as this. This year's figure is about 4.something% higher than it was last year by this time in 2021, which means that something is fundamentally wrong with our own fiscal policies and economic system. So if we say that, okay, the war in Ukraine or things happening here and there contributing, yes, there are international issues that will naturally affect Nigeria's situation. But I'm not also sure that we are doing enough as a nation to in terms of our economic policies. Now, let's look at the impact of this. For example, when you continue to have higher inflation rates, and mind you, it spoke about food inflation. The food inflation is 23.35%, higher than even the 20.77 that we are talking about. So, which means that the cost of bread, for example, you know how much it has gone up to. From 250 naira, it is now 700 naira.
1,100, 1,300.
1,300. I don't eat bread. So apparently I don't do. So you can imagine that. Because, for example, I think I wanted to buy something recently. And I was, okay, mop. Yesterday. Yeah, mop stick. Yesterday. The last time I bought it, it was, I think I bought it for 380 or 280 naira.
I think it's 115.
Now it's 1.5. So honestly, I couldn't even hide
something that is almost of no value.
Of no value. I couldn't even just hide the shock that, from, yes. So you can, the rate at which things are jumping, they are far above what is happening internationally.
Of course.
Yeah, and if you look at these foreign countries, when they talk about 1% rise in inflation rate, they will talk about it as if the whole world has collapsed. So don't let us deceive ourselves.
Double digits, consistently.
You can't compare. And manufacturers will tell you that anything that is, any inflation rate that is above 20% is bad. It's bad for any economy, because it's going to impact on production. It's going to impact on the standard of living. It's going to impact on your purchasing power. It's going to lead to poverty. It's going to lead to so many things. So we are not doing well. And we shouldn't just think that this is it's in line with what is happening globally. Our case is peculiar. Let's treat it.
No, the thing is, even for those of them who always deceive themselves that, oh, it's a global thing, the thing to do is to take them just down memory lane. Because our people, their attention span is short.
Yeah.
People do not have the capacity to even look a little back. This thing that they are talking about that is affecting everybody. Yes, the war in Ukraine has led to spiraling inflation across the world. But when did the war begin?
Exactly.
It began in March.
Exactly.
And the effect was not even felt immediately. But we are talking about a trend that we have noticed since last year.
Exactly.
Double-digit inflation in Nigeria is not even a one-year-old thing.
Exactly.
So the countries that they are talking about, UK, the rest of them, are they on double-digit inflation? You know, so
Definitely
these are the things. It's always easy for people to jump at whatever they see that is negative happening in some countries. And it's not even all countries of the world where they are facing this problem. The countries where the economy is doing well, they will not cite those examples. They're always looking for the negatives to be happy that, oh, we are in good company. Why must we be happy to be in bad company?
And even the living standard of the countries they are citing, are they the same with the living standard
the
of
things that
now?
we do for ourselves, government will do for people in those places.
Exactly.
For example, in some countries, forget about even school fees for your children and all that. It's all taken care of. Some of the people who are even sending children to Canada is because they know that some opportunities are there that government will make available to you. You go to Norway and some of these Scandinavian countries. Education is free at all levels.
Even in UK, to secondary school level. So, even in the US.
Look, for some of us, if you take...
Collect student loan, you go to school, you pay it while you're working.
Obama, remember Obama now? Even Obama benefited from that. If Obama was owing parking fees in the back in university days, it was after he knew that he was going to be president that he quickly balanced up parking fees. They allow you to be able to go to school, pay your school fees with soft loan that is not available here. If it's available here, a lot of the problems that parents go through will have been taken away.
Yeah.
Some of these private schools, they take as high as 600, 800 naira from you per session, some 2 million. If you are reading maybe a course like medicine and all that.
No, it's more than 2 million for medicine.
Except for one session.
Yes, it's more for medicine, yes.
Well, maybe some of you, those of you who are millionaires who have children reading medicine, I didn't know. So if it is more than 2 million, then we're in trouble. So the problem that we face, the forex illiquidity that is causing businesses to wind up in our country, that is the lack of access to even credit facilities that is causing some businesses to simply wind up, close down. They are not in some of these countries that we are talking about. No. Why should we have this forex illiquidity as bad as it is in our country?
We have our first caller. Ajo is calling us from Taraba State. Thank you for joining us. Ajo, are you there? Ajo, are you there? Okay, let's continue.
You know, we need to take a look at our foreign economic policy.
Yeah.
We need to look at the problems that we have. We can't wish those problems away, whether we like it or not. And some of us are committed to talking about it. A situation in which our revenue is even lower than
our budget,
than our loan repayment. What's it called? Debt servicing.
Even our budgetary allocation is being financed by the CBN. So to the tune of like 20 trillion or something, or 20.
Yes, I know that even the World Bank warned us. They call it ways and means.
Yeah. So now you are saying, what we are simply saying is that the CBN prints money.
That's another name.
To finance the deficit in the budget, which also leads to inflation.
And the deficits are rising.
And they are right. So there are a lot of problems because we are spending the money that is not real. The economy is not real. We are not operating. So we need to do something, and that has to be done urgently.
My concern is even for manufacturing, because that is the sector that can really drive the economy. But they are going through hell. They want to import raw materials, they can't get forex. So that will lead to shutting down of companies. It will lead to unemployment and all that. So there are problems in the economy that we expect government to solve in the final analysis, not to gloss over it by saying, oh, everyone is going through inflation. Exactly. The kind of problem that they are going through, and for them, it's always, you see light at the end of the tunnel. You know that it's just for a time. But in our own case, we don't even know when we'll come out of this, because it seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
All right. While flood-ravaged parts of Nigeria continue to struggle under the yoke of the disaster, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja, is also feeling the impacts. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has blamed the current petrol scarcity in Abuja and other states in the north on flooding in Lokoja, Kogi State. According to a statement signed by the agency, the flood submerged major parts of Lokoja and grounded vehicular movement, which has affected distribution of petroleum products to the FCT and its environs. We said it in the course of our first discussion, and we thought something would have been done by now, or government would have swung into action so that those trailers would have, going through alternative routes. But a lot of people say, more than before now, that the routes are just terrible. All the alternative routes you have. That if you are going from Lagos to Ado-Ekiti now, somebody was saying the routes you have to go and, to pass, you can't just go straight. Now, just imagine if you have to pass an alternative route from Lokoja, where else do you pass to get to Abuja and connecting other parts of the country?
It depends on where you are going. We know that the tank farms are here in Lagos. It is in Lagos here that they all lift petroleum products. In the past, you could move from here to Ilorin, from Ilorin, Kainji, Jeba, get into Mokwa, then from Mokwa, Tegina, Brinengwari, and then Kaduna. Then from Kaduna, you can go to Abuja. But if you try it...
Long journey.
Is it long journey? It's not long journey. It's bandits now. Do you want to pass through Brinengwari as we speak? Even in your most drunken state, you will pass through Brinengwari. How are you going to do that? So that's the main reason. I think Professor Lauda was even complaining that even road project in that area, they had to stop. Well, Brinengwari is one of the headquarters of banditry in our country. So that whole area, Rafi local government in Niger, where you have Tegina, where we used to eat in those days, that's like the Medu part of our journey. Whether you are going to Kano or going to Kaduna, you get to Tegina. There was a Yoruba man who had a restaurant by the side of the road. Everybody likes stopping there. That Tegina, Rafi local government, bandits are all over the area. The school, Kagara, when you see Kagara too, after Tegina, it's Kagara. Kagara was where they kidnapped those school children. Tegina was where they went, like the beasts that they are. They went to a Quranic school, kidnapped children as young as 5 years. Some died in their hands. So insecurity prompted truckers as well as luxury bus drivers to be using Ondo State. So they will pass through Ondo State, and then, I say Ondo State, Ekiti, pass through Osun, then pass over Ekiti, then link Abuja, and then go. Some of them pass through my village, and then get to Lokoja. But when you get to all of those areas are dry. But from Lokoja, then you have to move. Abuja, you are going. You have to move, pass through Kotonkarfi. Kotonkarfi, the Niger River has overflown its banks. The water has spilled onto the road. That is the main place where they are facing problem. You know, and there was a time that it looked dry, but I guess they've had some rainfall again. We are back to school. And this is a natural problem. I don't see how government, beyond getting people to use alternative route, but even you, if they suggest it to you to use an alternative route and you know it's not safe, you are not going to listen to anybody who brings that kind of counsel. That is the main reason. The central nature of Lokoja has made it worse. Wherever you are going, Lokoja is the access to many states, at no less than 10 states in our country. So there's no way that it won't affect
petrol.
Yes.
We don't think ahead. We don't plan ahead. And that's why Lagos can just be the only hub that these truckers can get fuel and go and drop as far as the north. If this thing were to be decentralized across the country now, it would have been a different story.
And apart from that, if the means of transportation, usually this kind of products shouldn't be transported by road, because they also contribute to the road, the condition of our roads. Yes, usually we should have rail lines that transport heavy trucks like this, but we don't have it, which is a product of lack of planning. And you imagine that for over 60 years of independence, we've not been able to put this in place. Even the ones we had before independence, they are no longer working. You see, before, do you know about Akran Road, where Guinness is? You know there is a rail, rail line that passed through that place. And it was deliberate for manufacturing all this, and you know that axis is also an industrial hub. You see, it was deliberately planned so that products can get to this manufacturing places, and the products can be transported to other places. But now,
if the truckers, if this is what they're going to pass through.
Now, and aside this also, we must have been warned. This thing won't just happen. We have weather reports. We know what Nigeria, the world we are in now is not where we were 20, 25 years ago, where you cannot predict. In fact, they will tell you the water levels, the rain that is likely to fall. How do these other countries predict all these, their hurricane, Catherine hurricane, whatever, that they will even tell you the exact time that it's going to happen, the exact places it is going to take place, and all of that. Here, we are just nonchalant. Let me put it that way. Look at houses. Do you know the implication of this? All these buildings are gone. No. They are gone, even after the rains.
The integrity
is already compromised. So, and we are talking about hundreds of thousands of people. Imagine this one now. So it's if we had planned better, I don't think. Of course, it's a natural occurrence, but I think we could have controlled the impact.
The guest house.
The impact.
Wisdom guest house. Submerged totally.
Imagine a main road like this.
This is a main road.
A main road.
We were even told that in a state like Bayelsa, that's even
corpses. Corpses were zoomed and they are floating on the river.
Littered all over the place.
Floating on, I know.
Because it has gone down.
There are cases probably worse than
that can lead to epidemic.
Seriously.
All these cars are gone.
So it's terrible. If people can't use, Kogi, some of the states bordering the southeast, they are also badly affected. So how do people move? Ajaokuta is a link to the southeast, for example. You are going to the southeast. Ajaokuta is the link. From Ajaokuta, you get to Ayimba. But
Anambra.
All of those local governments are submerged. So it's a big problem, and until this thing eases off, that scarcity will remain, because I don't see people resorting to the use of roads that are bad, because it's so easy for trailers to fall over when the roads are bad. It takes just a mistake. You
Not
put
to talk
one
of
leg
when you can't see.
Not to talk of
Even if
when
they
you
do
realize
it
that
will
there
affect
is
the
insecurity.
speed. It will even affect the speed. The roads, the bad roads.
Yes,
I read about one driver that said he slaughtered 10 cows. Yes, on that road.
No, when they stay too long. They don't feed them. When they bring them like that, there are so many. They are left hungry. Some of them, as a result of
distress,
the sun,
the
vagaries of the sun, and the fact that they are not fed for some time. These guys are saying that it's taking them 8 days to move between Kotonkarufi and
there's no how they won't lose their livestock.
Very short distance. So there's no way that some of them won't die. By the time they get to their destination, they are very, very weak. So what they just do is they just quickly slaughter them. Because in that state, they can hardly get up, they can't last. So they just quickly slaughter them. So people are recording losses, different types of losses, as a result of this. This
will halt all activities.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not only trailers will not be able to.
I just showed you
all economic activities.
The joint now.
The guest house, have
yes.
No, no patronage. Now
no,
you want to pass me.
You and the person that you are taking there, you'll be drowned.
Wow.
So nothing like going to any abete located in the heart of Lokoja now. They'll be facing terrible times, because who will see? You saw it, they just showed it now. Because who will go there?
Using canoe.
People are in trouble.
Major road.
Yes. Look at the current. Look at the way the water
on the expressway.
Wow. It's moving with ferocity. As if we are looking at the
cars.
Tidal waves.
Water would have, destroyed the engines.
No, these cars are gone.
No, those cars are gone.
They are gone.
Those houses too. It's only a matter of time before they give way. Those houses.
All right, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. Stay with us.
Good afternoon, Oga. Now you be the landlord?
Yes, Nami.
Oga landlord, me go need 1 room for this your house, so.
Okay, sure you get work where you do.
Yes, I be nurse.
You no go dey owe me be that now.
Now how much be your rent, sef?
Not just 90,000 naira. Wait, this guy, where you come from, sef?
Oga, I come from Akamata.
Akamata? No talk am again. My spirit and Akamata people no dey ever join.
Oga, wetin happen now?
Come on for my compound. Na so baba thing na people sabi do for that Akamata. Come on for here.
Haba, Papa, wetin this innocent girl do you now? Now people like you, they spoil Nigeria, Papa.
I think you don't see am now. My people, they talk say jollof rice wey dey for bottom pot today go dey top of cooler tomorrow. As I take need you now, so you self need me. Because now one mama we get wey dey Nigeria. Make we love ourselves, because now only together we go fit make our country better for us and our children them. One heart plus one love equals better Nigeria. Now the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government, they bring in this message.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccines-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122.
This message is from NPHCDA in partnership with the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from MacArthur Foundation.
The Taraba State government cordially invites the public to the official installation and presentation of staff of office to His Majesty Ambassador Samvala Varzwa Shimbura Garbanyi II Garadonga by His Excellency Architect Darius Dixon Ishako CON, the Executive Governor of Taraba State. Special guest of honor General T.Y. Danjuma retired GCON, the Gangbaru of Donga. Date Thursday 20th October 2022. Venue Dozanga Primary School, Donga Local Government Area of Taraba State. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Announcer Publicity Committee.
Activus News, wherever the...
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Thank you for staying with us. In what most Nigerians call testing the microphone, most presidential candidates in the 2023 elections in Nigeria are moving around to test their popularity and canvass for votes. 3 presidential candidates, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, hit Kaduna, North or West Nigeria in bids to win popular votes from the northern parts of the country. At an interactive session organized by the Arewa Joint Committee in Kaduna, Tinubu, among other things, promised to champion indivisible and prosperous Nigeria, as well as complete the Mambila hydropower project, while Obi vowed to return people to the farm and harness agricultural potential of the North if elected president. Atiku, on his part, spoke during a PDP rally in Kaduna, where he vowed to end insecurity and revive industries in the North. Let's hear from the 3 presidential candidates.
My aspiration to lead the country is a testimonial for my strong belief in the unity and indivisibility of Nigeria as a country. Under my leadership, the Nigerian military will receive much needed injection of training personnel to strengthen the heroic efforts of the troops, and we will reinforce them. There can be no industrial revolution without power. We will accelerate the completion of Mambila hydropower project, exploit and construct other sources of power in line with global best practices.
We will bring back the country again and we'll make it work. I keep saying it, the future of Nigeria depends on the North. I will unlock it. Because I want to be able to say, I want to turn the entire country into a farmland and use Kenya and Kaduna as processing centers. And you will see it happen. Kaduna here is 46,000 square kilometers of land. Kaduna is
through Bambegua, linking Kaduna and Abuja, will be completed by the grace of God.
Strategic Northwest, Jide. Now the people that they've accused that they've not attended at other location, but this location is very important. All the top candidates, 25% of the votes at stake.
You see, the candidates know what they are doing. They are looking at where they can get the quantum of votes needed for them to win the election. And the truth is, Tinubu, for example, sees the 3 K states as states that he must win.
Yeah. Kano, Kaduna, and
Katsina. They are states that he sees as states that he must win. So I'm not surprised that he had to go to.
He was there on
Kaduna
Friday.
first to attend the Cadinvest.
Yes.
And then return to speak with political stakeholders, in the states. And clearly they knew what the people would want to hear. And they said to the people what they would want to hear. I was not surprised that Atiku talked about reviving industries in Kaduna before our eyes. The big textile companies, Kaduna was home to textiles in our country. All of those companies died one after another. Whether it's Arewa Tex, where Oshomole cut his teeth and became famous as a labor leader, or KTL, or United Nigerian Textile Limited in Kakuri, not far from where I used to live. They are all dead. And people are wondering, this was a big industrial area that provided jobs for people who also had many dependents. And before our eyes, honestly, they all died.
Just like town planning in Oshodi here too. So I used to have a lot of textile companies.
Even I remember Oshomole to go into Kaduna to promise that they will revive those textile companies. Because he is a product of the textile company. But he left office, nothing happened. So then aluminium company like Krita Hope, located not far from the Democrats, is also gone. Fertilizer company, many companies. Kaduna used to be like another Lagos. Kaduna and Kano were like the hub of industries and commerce in northern Nigeria. Those businesses are gone. Those factories no longer, they are shut. Even the big hotels that we knew in those days, Amdala, Doba. So why should the people allow this sort of thing to happen? Now, Atiku is saying, look, I'm going to revive those industries. And Tinubu is saying, look, I am going to complete the Mambila hydropower project. I think what they should be saying is, I'm going to start and complete, because there is nothing on ground. At least I went there. Nobody can tell me any story.
We just have that impression that there's something going on there.
When they say complete, nothing.
I've been hearing that Mambila.
No road to the
years.
place. When I first said on this program that there is no road leading to the place, people thought Jide has come with his trouble again. Then I took the trouble to go there and show people that there's no road leading to the place. I fell down on the bike 3 times before I got to the top. Because it's like when you get to the top, you are looking at the valley. That's where the big dam site is, like a waterfall. You see the huge pressure of the water. You remember?
You can check out the video on YouTube.
Yes. And then I came down. I came down from that, on the top, came down, got close to the water. That place,
nothing.
The dam area, I mean the project area, is 5 times the size of Lagos State. It will have been one of the biggest hydro plants in this part of the world. It's been there no less than 30 years now. We've not done anything. Promises and promises and promises. Nothing has been done. People should stop saying they will complete. Tell us, I will start and complete, because nothing has been done as we speak. I think one other TV station went there recently, maybe less than 2 years ago. It's still the same thing that I saw that they brought back. So the Northerners would like to hear such stories that, look, at least there is hope that they will revive this industry so that employment can be provided for the people.
And Peter Obi was clear about it, that, look, he's going to be the president of Nigeria, that as in that is not because he's from the southeast that he's going to rule like Nigeria president, that he has friends. He had one person that was giving loan to at the point in time that is ADC, when he was the governor, is from the northern part of the country, that there's no cause for alarm.
Is he the one that will vote for himself? He's just being optimistic now. So we cannot. Don't let us he said that he's going to work on agriculture and make sure that farmers. He also said he will tackle insecurity and ensure that farmers go back to their farms and all of that. Of course, when I look at the North-West region also, and the way the three presidential candidates were actually expressing themselves, you could see that vigor in each one of them. And I just wondered why this vigor, why this, the
votes.
They want to be believed.
They want to be believed because this is a region that has over 22 million registered voters.
Yes.
The largest in the country, followed by the Southwest region. Now, so they want the votes in that place.
Yes.
And for me, I want to first of all say that I love that energy. The energy displayed by all the presidential candidates. And I also love the fact that, they are talking about specifics.
Yeah.
About specifics that you can actually hold them to. Yes, that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And that is what I love. And you see, like Babajide said, people want, they want to know what you will do this time around because they are the ones suffering the problems. So they want the presidential candidates to tell them. But now, before, it's like taking word from my mouth. For me, I want specific roadmap to achieving this project. It's not enough for you to say, this is what I'm going to do. How do you hope to do it? The Mandela project.
When they asked Asiwaju about the out-of-school children, look at the answer. It's one of the best that I've had anybody say. Where I said, okay, the Almajiri syndrome, we can address it by bringing in the teachers themselves, those Quranic teachers, you accommodate them. That way, you simply getting them to realize what you plan to do. You bring them into the picture, you take those children off the streets.
Of them.
So it looks like something that can
work. That is practical.
Yes, it really looks practical.
That is practical,
yes.
Yeah.
So I had that, I said, this makes sense because look, it's a big problem in the north. Just seeing children with their plates, begging for food and all that.
They
can do better.
90% of the over 10 million out of school
yes,
children.
Yes, a good number, because they are children of school age. A good number of them are these Almajiris. And
he also talked about piping of gas.
Yes, there's a gas pipeline leading all the way to Kano, Majakuta, and all that.
For export also. So we want to hear more about the specifics.
Yes, what they want to do.
What they want
this
to do and how they want to go. Yes, how they want to go about it. Because the Mabila project started since 2001. And a lot of money has been spent.
So it was actually conceived longer than that.
Longer than that, but at least Obasanjo administration started the process, and up till now, we are still talking about Mambila.
Okay, we have the special advisor to the FCT minister, Mr. Tunde Imoleyin, joining us. Thank you for joining us via Zoom. Mr. Imoleyin. Okay. So, talking about the stake, very, very high. So, at least the momentum started. Atiku Abubakar started his own campaign last week. He started in Akwa Ibom. So, Akwa Ibom, he moved to Kaduna. And if you see the massive crowd, quite impressive.
No, it's it's been in the game for some time. So if you can almost muster a crowd, then what is he doing?
I think he even mentioned that he got the highest votes in 2019 in Kaduna. It was part of his campaign.
But it was not enough for him to win the state. I like Obi's energy. I like the energy that he has brought into this race. He has made this race more interesting, and everywhere he goes, he comes up with a message. You may not always agree with what he has to say, like when he said that he was justifying simply keeping money there rather than use the money. You may not agree that is the right thing to do. You have money, use it for infrastructure that we can see for years. Somebody comes, simply spends all of that money, and people will then ask, what was the value in stacking money somewhere when you could have done meaningful things with it? I may not agree with his argument that, look, there's nothing wrong in keeping money. Use the money.
So far your money is safe.
Use the money. That is antediluvian in my view. Use the money. Let's see what you can do with it.
Well, for me, I think you use money and you still keep money. You may not keep, or you may not ignore the infrastructural deficiencies that you are supposed to take care of. So many
things to be done.
But you cannot also say you want to spend all your money, because part of the problem we also have as a nation is the fact that we keep spending everything we had. During the time of buoyancy, we had lots of money, but we refused to keep, to be disciplined enough to insist that we keep certain.
But that's not the way. Go and look at that video again.
Okay.
It was just like saying that, look, they should
just be
kept the money. So if
everything.
everybody kept the money, who will build ports? Who will build roads? I mean, it can't be in this modern age, just keep the money.
You can't
no,
be keeping money.
You cannot. Like you can't have a situation in which your infrastructure is 60 years old and you don't want to spend money to freshen such infrastructure.
Like a project like the second Niger Bridge.
Yes, look at the massive difference that will make,
okay.
That area.
Today, Molai is available now. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Molai, yes, let's talk about the campaign. Atiku Tinubu hit Kaduna State.
What do you make of the whole thing?
I think it's good. It's a good development. The meeting at the airport shows that politics without bitterness, they are all friends, we know, right from days of old. The Yadwa dynasty, Ayu, Atiku, and Jagaban, they've been there for so many years. Those who have been following politics for a very long time shouldn't be surprised. Atiku, Jagaban, Atiku. That is one of the things that make politics very sweet. Those of us who actually witnessed the Azikwe days, we probably with nostalgia. So we are seeing some of those actions similar to what we used to experience when we were very young. It's good. But back to the issues. It's a good development, and I'm liking it. At least let everybody come to the table. I mean, to share ideas about what they intend to do if they are elected. And I'm quite. There is a table set for all of them. I mean, the top candidates, and it's exciting to watch. It was exciting to watch Ashwaju. Then that intends to do, particularly in the north. I mean, I'm so excited about his philosophy and his vision about their magic. All of us know what has happened in the north as far as Jonathan government tried its best, but it is not sustainable. It's not wholesome. It's not a wholesome package. And the fact that Buhari Tinubu realizes he has done a SWOT analysis of himself in terms of his strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And he intends to turn these threats to opportunities and the weaknesses. Very, 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 very happy about that. And look at the problems and the challenges and why the Jonathan government failed in the area of Amajiri delivery. We also had him say something about the moribund Mambila Plateau power project. It's very embarrassing. And he says that it's going to restructure. Putting people into the job shouldn't be a problem for Ashwaju because he's a master of that in that area. We've seen him do that in several places, and of course, the one that is going to perform very, very well. Talking about industrial revolution, you can't do much without power, and that's exactly where we're going to invest our money. And building, ensuring restructuring through consensus. I want us to believe that we can achieve restructuring without, coming to the table. And actually doesn't want to create that kind of illusion that it's something that once it gets there, because I believe in restructuring, then I will just push it to the National Assembly and it's a rubber stamp thing. It isn't. It's a country that belongs to all of us, irrespective of whether you're Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa, or Fulani. My takeaway over security. Security is also on the table. I mean, most people in every part of the country, if not everybody, nobody can sleep with their eyes closed. So it's assuring the North, who have actually, the Northerners, who have actually taken most of the flag. And if I come, when I come, I know one or two things that I can put in place that will make, things more
Architect Molen.
Better.
Architect Molen, Ashwaju Tinubu also gave a hint of what he thinks of global warming, the attempt globally to address the issue of global warming. How do you see the statement made by
Ashwaju? As bold as Ashwaju has done, and I give him thumbs up. That reminds us of where we are coming from in terms of green economy is very key going forward. And if there is any presidential candidate that does not address it the way it should be head on, then that person does not deserve to be in Aso Rock next year. The way he captured it, it has been misconstrued. We can understand because it's the period of politics. We use religion comfortably, conveniently, whenever we want to use metaphor, which is very instructive. I'm a Christian, and I know so many times that I've actually said, somebody asked me whether a bloody church rat. I mean, I'm a Christian, and I'm saying that. So what is wrong with him saying that? But church rat is known. I mean, you don't have anything to eat, and you face a holy communion, bread is there and everything, even if it's poison. It's a metaphor. It should be. What is putting on the table shouldn't be lost on us if we're a serious nation. This is a country where, we go to the bushes and fell firewood just because we are poor and we don't have any alternatives, and because there is global warming, we are saying that I should leave that. I mean, just imagine. You don't have public toilets, and you are telling me that I shouldn't defecate. How is that possible? It's a catch-22 situation. And that's exactly what the West wants to say to us. And actually, he's saying that, how am I poor? And you are saying that I should take a field that is going to send me to more problems. We are going to refuse to go to Egypt for COP27 because it is a fallacy, and it is unthinkable to believe that the West will come to Egypt and African soil to end global warming. It is still going to be.
I want to thank you, Tunde Imolai, the special advisor to the FCT minister. I want to thank you for your contribution. And Judy, I think that
I got what he was trying to say.
Okay,
that's there's a lot of hypocrisy about this global warming thing. A country like Russia is still using coal, yet they are telling us that we are heating up the atmosphere and all that. So he is saying that, and Shuaju's argument also is that people who are poor, you can't tell them not to use firewood to do their cooking. They want us to put an end to that. In a country that is so poor as ours, it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to get people to stop using firewood.
Thank you again, Tunde Imolai, the special advisor to the FCT minister.
Thank you for
your time.
My brother, thank you.
All right.
Babajide.
Ola BC Deji for the thank you for your contribution today. And BKO, thank you as also always. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 and join us on Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozuba. See you tomorrow.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. We all know the benefits that come from eating a healthy, balanced diet, but sometimes that's not always easy. Until now. ShopX TV is proud to introduce NutriBullet, the must-have kitchen item of the year. With NutriBullet, you can now easily get your daily recommended fruits and vegetables in a fast, simple, and convenient way. Not by eating them, but by drinking them. Here's how it works. First, add spinach for fiber, berries for antioxidants, and some banana for potassium.